what's up? This is Pastor Sam, and I want to welcome you to the Next Gen Podcast. I am your host for today, and I've got some incredible students with me today, and we're just going to have a little conversation. Number one, I want to introduce my guy, Coy. Coy, what's up?
What's up?
Tell the people one thing that is like great about you.
One thing that's great about me is
be humble.
I would have to say that I am Pastor Galen's son.
That is, I've got to tell you, that is one incredible thing. If you're Pastor Galen's son, you've got something good going for you. And then we've got Gabby. Gabby, come on, tell the people something great about you. I know you've got like way too many.
Okay, no. Well, I serve the best Jesus ever in the world, so that's something great about me.
She brought us. Carl, how do you feel? Do you feel like you're a Christian after giving that answer, and then she gave like a whole Jesus answer here?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. So what we're gonna do, we want to start this podcast really just kind of discussing what we've learned over the last month, and it's really been one of my favorite months that I believe it's just been so rich in material that we've learned about. And I'm just going to ask you guys a few questions, and we'll see kind of where we go from here. But I wonder if I'm going to start with Gabby. I wonder if you can kind of share like your favorite moment from this month. It can be maybe just having a good time with your friends, or hang out before youth. But what would you say is your favorite moment this month?
I'd say my favorite moment this month had to be, it was the most powerful moment that I experienced during this whole series. We've been talking about mental health. Was the very first night when Pastor Terry was very vulnerable and honest with us about his struggles and his how he's overcome all of that. And I remember there was an altar call that night, and I went to the altar call and I cried, and I was like, I've also been struggling with this. Why am I still feeling this way? Why, I thought I was doing everything right. I thought I was, why am I still having anxiety? What is this about? And God revealed to me that night that it wasn't anything I was doing now. It's that he had forgiven me, but I hadn't forgiven myself.
Wow.
And I was bringing myself down. It wasn't necessarily the people around me. It wasn't necessarily the things that I was doing, but it was my own, like I was too hard on myself. It was God had forgiven me. He loved me. He forgot about it, and I hadn't.
Gosh, that is so good. That is so good. What about you, Coy?
Yeah, mine's actually pretty similar. It was on the first night, with Pastor Terry. It's kind of the same situation. Whenever Pastor Terry actually did the altar call, I felt like this pull. So I went down there, and I started bawling my eyes. I just started weeping, and I started because actually I had seen something very soon before the service. It was talking about how like you need to confess and profess over your life that stuff has no hold on you. Yeah, there's no place in your life. So that's when I went over to the altar, and I just started going. I just started taking everything I was dealing with and just put it all out. And actually, he told us to go talk to somebody about it that was one of the leaders, and I went to Nathan, and I mean, it's definitely supernatural feeling, but like whenever he got done praying with me, I mean, such a peace, such a fulfillment, a place of belonging just entered, and I'll never be able to explain it, but it changed my life.
Yeah, I'm sure it did, because you sent me, I don't know if it was the first day or the same day or the second day afterwards, but you sent me a text like late at night. It was, I don't know, it was like maybe like 12 or something. And you asked me a question. What was the question you asked me?
I was asking if I have people in my life that I know are not leading me in the wrong direction, is it better for me to just cut them out completely? Or if I'm not strong enough, should I be able to just cut them out completely, or is there like a different way? Yeah.
And we kind of talked about that, and my response was, I believe just anytime that you have that question already, 90% or, 100% of the time, that's probably the answer, where it's like, hey, I need to get away so I can be strong for me to return. And I think one of the things that really just with young people, they find themselves is they try to be Jesus and try to save people when they're not strong enough themselves, right? And I think often it's okay for us to say, you know what, for this season, I'm going to stay back from certain people so I can make sure that my faith is strong. So when I come back, I can witness to them and I be influenced by them, you know? Yeah. And that's kind of like what we talked about. And now I believe that I'm kind of seeing the fruit of you being around people who have the same value. And I know we're still working through some things, but I'm sure it has had an impact on your life, right?
Yeah, most definitely. And because one of the big things I started dealing with during that time, and because of the people that were around me, I went, because they were telling me it's good, just do this. I started abusing substances, and I thought that would be able to like fill me, you know, take like just drown it out, whatever. And I'm telling you, it's not the answer. There's no answer but Jesus. Because I mean, you think you're gonna, you know, all that's temporary. I'm telling you, it's just you find so much fulfillment in Him. I mean, it's just like no other way.
Man, that's good. Wow, Gabby, just kind of go back to you. You mentioned how you had to like forgive yourself because it wasn't that God was mad at you; He had forgiven you, but you was holding on to something. You know, against yourself.
Yeah.
What was that moment where you finally released it? You know, like take me to the moment where it's like you and God and you finally released this thing that you've like, you know, just kind of put on yourself.
So I had already been crying by the time I got down to the altar, and it was crowded down there. And so I like, it was kind of stuffed between two other girls. And we've all done altar calls. We've all been down there, and it's one of those things that I've realized it's never going to be my last altar call.
Wow.
And
no, say that one more time.
It's never going to be my last altar call.
Yeah.
You think, oh, I'm saved. It's done. Oh, I've given up this sin. It's done. It's never going to be the last time, you know? And so I went down there and I put my head on the altar, just rested my head on the altar, and I was just crying and I was shaking, and I'm asking God, I'm going, God, I read my Bible every day. God, I gave up that relationship that you didn't want me to be in. I gave up those friendships. I gave up that sin. I gave up all of that. And I'm striving for this. I want to be as close to you as possible. Why am I still struggling with depression? Why do I still have anxiety? Why are people treating me like this? And it was God just said to me, it's in your head. It's not,
Wow.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not punishing you. You have to forgive yourself. You haven't forgiven yourself yet. And it took me to a moment in the Bible, and I swear I heard God say this to me when Jesus walks up on these men about to stone this woman for her sins.
Yeah.
And He says, you know, which one of you is sinless? Which one of you can stone her because you've done nothing wrong? And He tells her, sin no more. Go and live your life in peace and sin no more. And I heard that, and I felt that in my heart, and I got up and I went back to my seat.
Wow.
And I heard that, and I thought, and I just was like, okay, it's over. I can forgive myself. He forgives me. I can just go and live my life better now. I can go and sin no more. And I got up and I went back to my seat.
Wow. And from there, really just, and for both of you guys who ever want to answer this question, you know, you guys just kind of gave some incredible testimony of what happened this month. And, you know, I'm over here and like, let's shoot this podcast. I don't want to start, crying. But, you know, I guess a question that I want to ask from that is, okay, how have you been able to like go from, okay, God is, you know, I see this transformation in my life, but now like I'm applying to my everyday life. Like, so what is your everyday life now looks like, like post, you know, what the Lord has done in your life, especially this month? What does it look like? Is your like quiet time change? Like, what are some things that you can see? Like, okay, cool. I see this change because of what Jesus has done in my life this month.
Yeah, I can test that. So after that night, you know, that feeling, I got that place of love. Like my mindset completely changed. Before I didn't really like do any kind of quiet time or nothing. I would just kind of, you know, come to church, put my hands up, whatever. And then, but after that day, you know, I was desperate for that feeling again. So, I remember the next morning, I you know, I actually started doing, Pastor Mark's doing, so you do like honor and thanks. Trying to think of I think it's like
Yeah, quiet time. Yeah, honor the Lord.
Yeah, all
prayer,
and
meditation.
And it was really. I mean, I think I sat in my room for like 3 hours and just.
Come on,
Wow,
dude! It was so powerful. I mean, I had music playing. I mean, I heard so much. I want that every day now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I can apply it to my life. Everything I learned from my quiet time, everything I take in, and I have it's like so much more peace. My days go by better. The people that are around me, you know, they seen a change too, which is amazing because, I mean, I'm telling you, it wasn't great people I was around for sure.
Yeah.
And I think all that experience and be able to, you know, to be a light, to show others that I'm changing, you know, and that's what God calls us to do, you know, go be disciples of all nations. And I think that's one of the main things I've been able to do in my life is be able to be a difference and be a light to others.
Yeah.
For sure.
Wow. That's amazing. What about you, Gabby?
goodness, I think I see other people differently.
Whoa. That's good. That's good.
I don't know. It was like after that first night, it's Sunday, so you go to school the next day.
Yeah.
And I'm not a morning person. I'm a little grumpy when I wake up, but I get out of my car in the morning. I usually don't want to talk to very many people, and it's like I get out of my car and I'm like waving to the person in their window next to me, and it's even people who have done me wrong or hurt me in the past. I see that you're a teenager too.
Yeah.
I see that if I'm just a normal teenage girl, if I'm struggling with this and I've sinned and I've done all these things that I regret or that I, shouldn't have done, I see you differently.
Wow.
I see that you're struggling, even if you don't want everybody to see that you're struggling. I know that you probably are. And I feel like I have more sympathy and more compassion towards people now, even people that weren't exactly my cup of tea before.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's a blessing because
That's good. I love the way you say that, like the way my word has changed. It's not necessarily what I do on a daily basis, but it's how I see people now.
Yeah.
And that I'm not judging people because I was where they are.
Yeah.
And I think it is going to take that type of compassion to see people and really, not just to see people as mistakes or, the decision that they're making, but to truly see what God is seeing in them.
Yeah.
There was a point in time where, the Lord saw the best in us when we wasn't being in our best.
Yeah.
And I think as Christian, we ought to model that to other people as well.
Yeah.
So I love what you said about that. Was there something surprising from you? Like, was there a topic that we talked about and you was like, I didn't know we was going to go there. Like, is that something that surprised you this month?
Yes. It wasn't necessarily something that was, I didn't realize we were going to go there, but a way that God spoke to me that I had heard the verse, Jesus wept.
Yeah.
Thousands of times. You learn it in Sunday school. Your grandma tells you it's the shortest verse in the Bible. You hear it your whole life. You memorize it at VBS. It's one of those verses. Everybody knows that verse. And I think it was the second night, you said you were talking about that the story. The her brother had died, and she was just grieving so heavily. And Jesus cried with her. He wept. He grieved with her. And when you said that, I started crying in the audience. And there was a moment where I thought you were looking at me. I got so embarrassed. I was like, oh my God, stop crying, Gabby. Pastor Shannon's looking at you. And I started crying in the audience, and I was like, he sees me. Mm-hmm. That story in the Bible is so close to my heart, but he sees me. He saw when I was grieving when I was 9. He saw me when I was grieving when I was 13. He sees me in my darkest, hardest times now, and he's grieving with me.
Yeah, yeah.
And he doesn't want to see me like this. And so I have to pick myself up, and do for myself as well, because, and it was one of those moments where it just, all that loneliness and all that darkness I had felt, it was like a light just came on, and it was like, he's here. He sees me.
That's good.
Amen.
That's good. Wow, that's good. That's good. Anything for you, Coy? Anything that surprised you this month?
Yeah, yeah, it was actually like she was saying, it's kind of crazy, but it was whenever you were preaching, it definitely like smacked me in the face because I mean, it definitely was not. I definitely needed to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
When you were talking about on the topic of suffering, you were saying that like anywhere in the Bible does not say anything like against it.
Yeah.
And you guys read that verse John 10:10, but it warns us that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy.
Yeah.
And that he's actually right there with us in our suffering. That's why he warns us, and he wants us to go to him and seek him in that time. And that's why I like what you said, because like a lot of people, they like to ask that question, like, then why is all this happening to me? It's because the closer you get to God, the more he attacks you. And I like that so much because I mean it's very true.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You know, our faith, is, the faith that we have was birthed on someone suffering.
Yeah.
So it is not contrary to the suffering that we're going to go to. In fact, James say, you are going to go to suffering. The only difference is he's going to suffer with you, right?
Yeah.
And that is the hope that we have in Jesus. And that's what I love about, our Savior, is that he doesn't go, hey, look, he's like, no, I'm coming. And he weep with us and he cries with us. And then he'll help us, get up and comfort us. And so that was amazing. I was definitely, I was happy with all the direction that we went through. I think, even the other topics about just our identity, what God says about LGBTQ community, what the Bible said about, who we are. And, I just love that our students was tuned into all of that. And I just believe that the Lord brought so much freedom to a lot of students. So as we're wrapping up, I'm going to ask you guys this question here. If you could describe this month theme with one emoji, what would it be?
The first one that comes to mind is like, I think it's a new one where it's like that shy smile. It's just kind of like, but like the tear,
yeah,
but like the tear.
There's a tear, but she's kind of looking. It's like, I don't know what to do. Want to cry or like.
It's like smiling, but also like there's like a little tear. Definitely that one.
What about you, Coy?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't have like a good one, so I was just kind of scrolling, and I ultimately came up with a brain because mental health. It's actually really basic, but that's all I can think of.
I see where you at.
Yeah.
I was like, I was that face, the nervous faces, because I'm nervous and see like how students was gonna respond. And then like we talked really heavy, so I didn't know how parents was going to respond. But praise the Lord, all of it was great. So thank God I didn't get any phone call like, "What are you guys talking about?" So it's like another month we made it. So that's awesome. And just one quick advice to any students who's watching, just what you learned from this month. What is one quick advice you would give them?
Some I would give out, it's just, to show love to everybody. There's no, I mean, if you believe in God, you have to show his love to others. And, especially from this month's topic, I've experienced it personally. If, you really, cause like all that, especially the depression, all that, it's so easy to hide. And you really don't know what they're going through. And it's just, I love this verse because it's Proverbs somewhere. I said when I was sharing my testimony, it says anxiety weighs down the heart, but a kind word can heal it. And that just goes to show, like when you show love and you show compassion, they're gonna ask you like, why are you so loving? Why are you so kind? And that's just another chance to be able to lead them to Jesus.
That's good. That's good. So, what advice would you give them?
Struggling is part of the deal.
Yeah.
But it's seasonal.
Yeah.
It's not, the enemy would love to tell you and love to convince you that it's going to be forever, that this is just your life. This is just how people treat me. Oh, this is just what happens to me. No, it's not. It is not forever. And Jesus says that he who stands firm in the end will be saved.
Come on.
I'm sending you out like sheep among wolves, and he who stands firm in the end will be saved. Don't give up. Just don't give up. We've talked about so many tough things this month about mental health and suicide and just lots of very tough topics.
Yeah.
And I think it was something that we all needed to hear. But it was also just I've struggled with all of it.
Yeah.
You just can't give up because he's not giving up on you. You just can't give up.
Absolutely.
Keep on trucking, chickie.
Yeah, just encouragement to everyone, man. Don't do life alone.
For sure.
I think what the enemy would love for any students or anyone to do is really just to do life alone. And whenever we just fight by ourselves, we lose battles. God has given us a community for a reason, and that community is for us to be able to encourage each other, do life with each other. And when someone is struggling, we help them up, you know. So that's my encouragement to you guys. And thank you guys for coming.
For sure.
On the first podcast. Look, we didn't have enough money to buy another mic. So like if you can see it on Coy's mic right now, we got it duct tape, y'all. Like this is real ministry. We got tape on it, you know. Yeah. And but thank you guys for being such a good sports and allowing us to do a taste on you guys. And now the other people are gonna rip the benefit, you know, of you guys just waiting here. So thank you guys so much. And listen, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're gonna be back next month with another episode of Monthly Recap. God bless you.